Although cloud computing has been around for nearly a decade, it marks a new frontier for government agencies. For agencies that operate in the cloud, the ability to comply with security regulations is critical. There are laws and requirements that govern how agencies secure information systems. For example, cloud products and services that a government agency uses must comply with the Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program, or FedRAMP for short. There are also industry security standards, such as the PCI Data Security Standard, which sets requirements for processing payment cards. Compliance frameworks establish a standard and repeatable way to secure cloud systems. They also establish common operating procedures and help better understand who has access to what data. Although compliance is important, and sometimes required by law, it is difficult to implement. Why? For starters, compliance is extremely complex. Securing cloud systems demands orchestrating disparate technologies, requirements, and skills. Consider the compliance standards for PCI. PCI mandates over 200 requirements, from recording firewall logs to performing annual risk assessments. Compounding this complexity is the fact that compliance frameworks are open to interpretation. If developers or operators misunderstand the nuances of a requirement, they could waste time and money on solutions that fail to meet the intent of the requirement. And to make matters worse, many of the required technologies are merely point solutions. In other words, they fulfill a single, narrowly focused need, but do not cover all dimensions of a requirement. Implementing these technologies is tedious, especially when they must interoperate with other technologies. Lastly, while standards such as FedRAMP, ISO, and PCI DSS share some requirements, there are subtle differences in the details. For example, while all the frameworks mandate encryption standards, FedRAMP specifically requires the use of Federal Information Processing Standard 140-2 encryption modules, while ISO and PCI do not. Compliance is burdensome in terms of time, talent, and money. Moreover, compliance is distracting to IT and development teams. The time and cost spent struggling with compliance requirements could be better spent. So, how can agencies speed up this frustrating and unfulfilling need? In the next lesson, we'll explore how compliance automation can help dramatically accelerate the compliance process, as well as eliminating the guesswork of interpreting each requirement.